All right, ladies and gentlemen, Evemodel here once again. We're finally going to go into the painting of the Leopard 2 AVLB. First thing I want to do, I want to go ahead and get these road wheels primed, as well as the tank chassis and underneath the whole hull. At least do just a little bit of the painting, a little bit of the priming, a little bit of the painting. So I'm not going to bore you with putting all these poly caps on. I'm just going to show you a few of those. So next thing you do, just go and get your poly cap, insert it in there. Don't paint the top edge, because very likely you're going to get glue inside that poly cap. So instead, just go around the outside of that road wheel and then just press down. And that should do it, just like such. Okay, going to show you one more. Get your road wheel, insert your poly cap, add your glue around the edge. Oops. And then press down. That simple. Okay. Just as an added note, I want to point out that some of the road wheels seem to have a bit of flash within that hole there. So just clear that out before you start inserting it. I mean, you probably could clean it out after you attach the wheels together. It might not make a difference. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully the wheels will still spin pretty firmly and not wobble around too much. Once those road wheels are all glued down, poly caps are inside, go ahead and test fit them. Attach them onto those suspension arms. Make sure they're able to roll freely. Looks good. Okay, just put it on the bed here on the table. They seem to be pretty level. All of them wheels are touching the tabletop pretty well, all rolling quite nicely. Okay, no big deal. Now I'm not going to come by and keep these things on. So what you want to do is very carefully just go ahead and look at my tweezers. I did this with one of the sprocket wheels. The sprocket wheel came apart, and just pull out those wheels. Okay, it's going to take a little bit of time, but you don't want to bend or break off those suspension arms. That would be tragic. You don't want that to happen. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pull those off so we can get started on the paint. Hello everybody, Evemodel here with this new paint spray booth from Togush. We're going to go ahead and do a quick paint job on a few items. The upper and lower hull of my Leopard AVLB. As I mentioned to you, we're going to go ahead and prime it first. The primer we're going to be using is Vallejo Black. Okay, the black spray paint. And we're going to go ahead and apply that primer to cover up the PE portions and most of the model that we have here. So we're going to go ahead and give our new airbrush a try. It is pretty loud, as you can hear with the dual fans going on. I can adjust the fan, just if I can find it. and lower the suction of the fan down. This is about half the speed on half the knob that you see right up here. Okay, that pointed to you out in the short. So we're going to go ahead and turn this thing back up. And we're going to go ahead and spray paint first the lower hull. So here we go, going to go ahead and spray paint the lower hull, give it a few shots here, see how that thing works. Seems to capture the spray pretty well. So let's go ahead and spray that down. And I'll get that bottom portion, actually the top portion of that underside a little bit later. So now we're going to go ahead and paint the upper hull. I'm going to go ahead and use that same primer. I have elevated a little bit higher, so that way I can get a good coverage on this guy. So here we go. So now we're going to go ahead and paint those road wheels, idlers, sprockets, and whatnot. I've already painted the first one using, again, another new toy from me. This is actually just a very helpful device for me to paint multiple items in one spray, so that I don't have to come by and handle them myself, get my fingers painted, wear gloves. It's a really nice device. All it is right here is an alligator clip that has a pretty stiff, I guess, metal rod. You just attach that on there, open up the alligator clip, and install. So we're going to go ahead and paint these guys up and set them up here on the stand for them to dry. So as you're spraying the roller wheels, it's pretty easy. It's kind of like holding saute. Well, that's chicken saute. Sounds really good right now. Anyways, sorry about that. So you just grab it at the end. With your hands there, spray the back side, angle it a little bit so you can get the interior, angle it again so you can get the front interior where the track actually meets, and then spray just a little bit on the top. Show you one more time. Again, sprayed inside the back side of that road wheel, angle a little bit to get the interior where the track goes in, angle it again so that way you have the forward facing part that you see visible, and then give it a couple shots, real light shots on the other side. So hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. After I applied the primer onto our road wheels, idlers, and sprockets, now the decision has come to what color do I paint the rubber of these road wheels. Now, I understand they're referred to as tires. I don't know if they actually have tires. They do have a rubber band around those road wheels to give them, I don't know, some traction, some comfort. I don't know if you have comfort in a tank. But now the question is, what color do I have? Well, here's the thing. I do not have tire black. I'm not going to get every different color black, every color gray, although I do have quite a few different shades of gray. But I don't have every type of white, every type of uncill, and so on and so on. So I was experimenting with some of the paints that I have here on this one road wheel. I'll just bring it up a little closer with the light there. And I was just curious about what color I should use. So the first color I chose, first of all, is a Vallejo Air. I've been getting to enjoy this paint brand quite a bit. Vallejo Air. This is dark sea gray 71053, excuse me. Dark sea gray, and I used that one. But then when I used it, it came up a little too, well, I was a little too light. So I do have this Panzer Dk Grey 71056, Panzer Dk Grey, and I tried that one, and that one came out a little bit better. Now I did notch it, excuse me, my hand in the way of the stand. I did notch it, so that way I know the difference between the Dark Sea Gray and the Panzer Gray, but still wasn't too happy with that. It's a nice gray. This one was too light, but I needed something a little bit darker. So strangely, I have, again, another Vallejo product, but this is the model color. This is not the model air, as you can see, just from the caps, let alone from the brand, okay, from the labels here. And this one came in a really nice package. Now, I'm just not going to promote this package or not, but it came really, really nice package. This is the basic color, 70140 basic colors, USA. And it comes with a lot of nice colors, you know, primary colors. Roy G. Biv, if you know about that one, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Okay, Roy G. Biv. Black, as I already mentioned to you, white, and assorted other colors. Gold, silver, reflective green, I don't know what that is. Azure, yellow ochre, and it's just a bunch of different colors that are on here, which is a nice little set of primary colors. So I got, getting back to the paints on the tires, I added a drop of black, I added a drop of Panzer Gray, dark gray, and mixed those two together. And what I received then, this is the Dark Sea Gray, this one right here is your Panzer Gray, and then this one right here is kind of like a flat black. You can almost see the difference between the primer and the paint. The primer and the paint. And it's not entirely black. It's not entirely gray. I might have had a fingerprint on there, but it's pretty nice. Rubber looking color, I think. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll mix up a batch 1-to-1 black with Panzer Dk Grey. Hopefully these colors don't interfere with each other. Hopefully they'll mix up well. They seem to in a small dosage. I mean, again, the road wheels are an important feature whenever you're looking at tanks. But I don't think someone's going to come and scrutinize and say, oh, that's the wrong color, black. Well, Jesus. How do you know? Why don't you put your head in there and let the tank roll over? Anyway, so we'll see. Got to give it a shot. So after hand painting all the road wheels and the two idler wheels that we have over here on my stand, really handy device. If you are doing a lot of small pieces or multiple pieces that need to be painted all the same color, having one of these stands, you know, I've been a modeler for many, many years, and I don't know what I've done without this thing. But came out handy in hand painting the rubber portion of the road wheels. I'm not sure you could see that or not. The color, it's not too bad compared to the rest of the primer color. Oops, don't want to knock over my paints. The rest of the primer color with that augmented black and Panzer Dk Grey mixture. It came out well. I like it. I like it. And like you always say, if you like it, then it's okay. Don't worry about what other people say. But it's a good color. Came out well. Hand painted. Even though there were two different brands. This one came out a bit thicker. This was more watery, obviously, because it's an airbrush mixture solution. This one was pretty thick. It was almost like a consistency of syrup. But they are acrylics, mixed up pretty well in my palette. And I'm quite impressed. Now, I'm going to let it sit for the rest of the night. And then tomorrow, we'll get to a mass. Install these on there, and hopefully this stuff works. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. onto the quick mask. Again, just all you need to do is just grab your road wheel, insert it. Don't push it all the way through. Just insert it slightly, give it a light tapping to make sure that they're installed on there. The paint that I use for the rubber of the road wheels seems pretty good. I'm happy with it. There was a good color mix, nothing major. And it does give it that rubber tire look. And there you go. Strange, I got an extra one there, okay? But all of them are right on there. Just take a look at the rims. Make sure the rims are showing up nicely. The idler wheels, these little smaller ones that are over here at the end, try not to push them through, okay? They will, all of the wheels actually will go through if you push too hard. It's like I'm showing you right now with one of the idler wheels. So don't push all the way through. Just enough for it to grab hold. And what you want to do is that you're going to lay this down and spray real quickly, okay? So that's what we're going to plan on doing when we go back outside. So I was just getting ready to pour my paint into my Grex airbrush here when I realized, wait a minute, what about all these holes? Especially the return rollers, the sides. So it'd be a good idea to tape those. If you're spraying at an angle here, okay, you're probably going to get paint underneath, and the sides of the road wheels are exposed over there. So it might be a good idea to mask the mask. Okay, well, I mean, better safe than sorry. Otherwise, you're going to repaint. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started in just a moment. Let me go ahead and fill up my cup. So just really quickly, we are going to use the Tamiya XF-67, the NATO Green, okay, NATO Green, as our base color. I also added a couple of drops of Tamiya's X-20A, the acrylic paint thinner. You don't want to get that mixed up with the enamel paint thinner. So let me go ahead and turn everything on. Lights are on. Boiler's on halfway. Seems to be coming out really nice. Okay, here we go. I have my air pressure at about 18 psi. Just like I say, just giving a few light coats. Turning the table every quarter. And that's it. We're going to take a look at the results next. So it did pretty well. It's just a need to get within basically the center hub. Center hub seems a little bit unpainted. So I'm going to go ahead and just lift this up carefully and just angle it a bit. And the last thing I want to do are the sprockets. Get this out of the way. Start on the lower hole. Just give it a finish up my paint that I have left over in my cup. And we are dry. The color looks pretty darn good. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the results. So far, the sprockets, the drive wheels, They look really good. Not complaining about it. Okay, but let's take a look how the paint mask worked out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove the sides. Probably good that I did that. Okay, and let's just pop out one of those wheels. I'm going to get the idler wheel here. And just a little bit of the overspray on the outer edge. But for a lot of you tanker guys, I bet you that when you do spray your wheels, your hubs, you're probably going to spray some of that rubber as well. But there is no paint on the road wheel itself, so that's a good thing. Let's take a look at one of the road wheels. Looks good. Looks very good. I'll probably have to take a picture of it just to make sure. But just eyeballing it with my Mark 1 eyeball, I don't see any overspray of the rim there. So, all right, quick mask. They're looking pretty good. Let's take a look at this other idler. That other idler came out just as well. Again, maybe a little bit overspray on the outer rim there. But I'm kind of liking it. And again, it's a good thing I cover those holes, because otherwise you would have sprayed right inside there. Now, that would have messed you up. All right, so thumbs up. Looks good. We're going to take a look at them a little bit more closely in just a moment. I do want to point out that I forgot to attach the headlamps. So this could be interesting to see how well this paint does without the primer. I mean, it's a small piece, but I'm a little hesitant, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. Anyways, here we go. Oops. Let me turn everything on first. That'll be a good idea. All right, that looks good. We're going to go ahead and go to the lower hole. Starting on the lower hole, getting those suspension arms going to be a little bit tricky since there's so many crevices and whatnot. All right, so after a nice paint job using my airbrush from Grex, the new paint spray booth, the Tamiya Green, the NATO Green XF-67, everything turned out pretty well. I'm quite happy with the road wheel masks. The only thing is there was a small overspray, just a little bit on the idler wheels. I'm going to show that to you in stills. The other road wheels came out quite nice, very good, no complaints. The color of the rubber, I enjoy. It looks good. Even better, the screens, which I'm very proud to say, as you can see, this piece that I cut out a while back does show through. No worries. Oops, no worries about that. The handles came out nice. No problems, no issues there. Everything seems to be well covered. Even the headlights, which didn't get that initial spray of primer, came out very nicely indeed. no issues there. So the next thing we'll be doing on the Leopard 2 AVLB is the spade. The spade that holds up the bridge. That will be up in the front. It's a pretty complex piece. It requires a bit of engineering. It looks like it's movable. We'll find out if it is or not. If not, I'll try to do my best to make it be in a stowed position up against the hull of the tank and lowered, so when that bridge piece does get laid down, it doesn't tip over the tank or make it go nose up. Otherwise, and modest. Hope you like the build so far. Hope you like the paint job. Looks pretty good so far. Quite happy.